I'm Austin Sum with IHTN News Center, and I'm here today with some experienced rock climbers to tell you about the sport of rock climbing. Yes, rock climbing is a sport. Although not many people are familiar with it being a sport. There are competitions, teams, and leagues. It's quite an interesting sport, and there's a lot to it. Rock climbing is competed on regional, nationals, and world competitions. There are many leagues for climbing as well. When I sat down and talked to the experienced rock climbers Garrett and Mike Sum, I learned there's two forms of rock climbing. The first form is bouldering. In bouldering, there's said to be no harnesses and it's just free climbing. The other type is ropes. Now, of course, from the name, there are ropes involved in this climbing. When I sat down with the experienced climber Garrett Sum, he had quite a bit to say about bouldering and ropes. Tell us about bouldering first.
Okay, so bouldering is like a lot lower to the ground, and there's no harness involved, and you don't have to have like a belayer, and you don't have to be on a rope, which is why ropes is called ropes and bouldering is not called ropes. So it's a lot lower to the ground. Usually it's a lot harder stuff, but it's a lot shorter because you can't go as high because you don't have a rope. And then ropes is, you have the rope and you have either a top rope where the rope goes all the way up to the top, you just go up with it, or you have lead climbing where you bring the rope up as you go, and there's draws that you clip into and bring the rope higher as you climb higher. After talking with Garrett, I sat down with Mike, his father, to talk to him about how he felt about bouldering and what he thought of it from being a spectator.
Well, when you're watching the bouldering comps, it's kind of cool to see these guys figuring out the puzzle. And most of the time you're kind of close. You're right there. You're almost, maybe they climb as high as twice as tall as you are. So you can really see what they can see most of the time. And it's fascinating about how they solve that puzzle, because not being an experienced climber, they make choices that surprise me most of the time.
Some of the most important equipment used in rock climbing are the shoes, chalk, and rope. When I sat down with Garrett to talk to him, he had quite a bit to say about how important rock climbing shoes are for the rock climber when climbing rocks.
So the shoes are probably one of the most important things for climbing, because basically you really can't climb anything decent at all.
Well, that's all we have today in our news story about rock climbing. I'm Austin Sum, and this is IHTN News. I'm signing off.